are you? How are you doing today? Today we're talking, it's a transparent scope. I'm going to give you my tip and a question from the 5 highly effective questions. Boom. To move you through that darkness that comes up for you when you don't want to move forward or you feel crippled. What up, Tina Marie, girl? Replay viewer, we'll talk later. Did you stay to the end yesterday, replay viewer? Because yesterday was a hot mess. I'm gonna get, oh, hey. Hey, Mosha. Annyeong, Tina Marie. Annyeong. So I'm gonna go ahead and get started and introduce myself. My name is Coach Nachi. I am your world-class personal development coach, speaker, and life enthusiast. Called to serve those who want to live more like their unique selves now, right now, this minute right now. Tina Marie, I don't know why I'm not following you. Something must have happened. Gary! My Gary! Welcome. Won't be able to stay because I'm about to watch a webinar, but I couldn't stay away. That's totally fine. Thank you so much for coming through. I appreciate you being here, Mosha. Thank you. Trooper. Thank you. Hey, Tylo! How are you? I see you sneaking in. Thank you for those hearts. Guys, we broke 300,000. What? So excited. So, today is a transparent scope. So a transparent scope is really where I share a bit more about me and what's going on with the topic and the content, and especially as it relates to me. Most of what I talk about comes from me, and I try not to give too many me examples when I'm speaking, but I can't help it. The only person I know the best is myself, and I am my number one client, so guinea pig all the time. So I am going to go ahead and get started. Once again, I am your world-class coach. Thank you for those peach hearts, Gary. I'm your world-class coach, Coach Nachi, your speaker. I'm a speaker, a life enthusiast, called to serve those who want to. Hey, Ahmet, how are you? Who want to live more like their unique selves. I see those blue hearts. I am particularly thirsty to work with social impactors and those that really want to make a difference in their community, their nation, and even the world. I really am incredibly thirsty to work with people who want to make some sort of change, some sort of positive change in their communities. And along that path, hey Boo, hey Sam Z Designs, my favorite designer, my only designer. Along those lines, what typically happens with people who are trying to create social impact, hey Boo Bear, a lot of self-doubt creeps in. A lot of self-worth creeps in, especially if it's something that you deem to be a worthy cause. Sometimes we might think that we're not worthy to do what it is that is in our hearts to do. Sometimes we might feel like we just can't. What we're doing is so great that we just aren't equipped to do it. Hey Jarvis, how are you? A lot of self-doubt creeps in. A lot of also, what will other people say? What will people say about what I'm doing? As I'm doing it, when I do it, if I don't do it. So all of these elements seem to pop up a lot of the times, especially, again, when you're dealing with someone who wants to create social impact and social change and be a world changer and be a leader of some sort. Welcome back, Samzy. So a lot of what I like to do, Gary, a lot of what I like to do with my social change clients is to really take care of that personal part, that part where even if you are feeling all these things, which you will, that's a part of, honestly, for me, from my book, that's a part of feeling fully human. You're a human being, and what you're doing is great, and it's not unheard of for us to back out because something is so great we think it goes beyond our scope. For me personally, I think I've shared, hey, Oweda's in the house. Oweda, I really enjoy your scopes. You make me smile. You make my heart warm. A lot of my clients, what we've talked about. Thanks for inviting your followers, and we'd really appreciate it. What we've talked about is their demons that pop up that have stopped them from doing the thing that's been in their heart. Thank you for those peach hearts, Gary, those green hearts, Sam Z. I appreciate them. Thank you so much for sharing. Thank you. I appreciate that. And inviting your followers. Thank you so much. So what I really want to share with you today is the one question that I use when I talk about my 5 highly effective questions. I'm not, thanks for inviting your followers, Sam Z. Yes. But when I talk about the 5 highly effective questions, they're not a joke. It's not a gimmick. These are questions that I use on my clients, and every session, 4 out of 5 of these questions show up. The questions show up in their various umbrella tassel forms, and I use them on my number 1 client, which is me. I use these questions on my number 1 client, which is me. The question that I use when I'm feeling like I can't, the question that I use when my heart is clenched and tight because I'm afraid I can't do it. I'm afraid I'm not worthy. I'm afraid that I will fail. I'm afraid that I will succeed and it will be too much. I'm afraid of what people will say. I'm afraid of what people will say if I don't. The question that I use to really pull me forward is, what will the impact be? Some of you know that I've been working, there's been something that's been in my heart for well over a year, and recently I've been taking more steps, maybe millimeter steps really, but I've been taking steps towards making this thing that's been in my heart a reality. So I want to create a crisis hotline in my home country, my birth country, Zambia. I want to create that social impact. I want people to know that they're not alone when they're going through crises. I want people who are suffering to know that there is a safe place for them to think, Samzy. You can do anything with who we trust. That's absolutely true. That's absolutely true, Awida. Very, very true. People are suffering, and I want to do something about it. I've shared this before, but I'll say it again. Suicide is something that's showed up in my life in its various forms, either directly with someone I care about, someone in my family, someone in my life. Yes. Hey, Reese up, Usan, how are you? It's something that has been around. It's something that I wrote papers. It's something that has been just, there. And then about a year ago this time, actually, I lost an old friend who had sick gifts and talents and a bright light, and that light will never shine again. The world has been completely deprived of that light, and that is incredibly unfortunate. What I want to do is, once I know better, I feel like I have to do better. I see that in my country, it's lacking this type of support system for those who are suffering. There's, hey Rachel, how are you? Suffering, mental health, and just emotional well-being. That's what I want to handle. So the crisis hotline is supposed to be, hey Perk Tutor, how are you? That's what I want to handle. But obviously, when I share things with you guys, it's not just, I'm not coming from a place of high and mighty. I'm coming from a place of, like, I've been there. So when I'm talking about social impactors, I know a little bit of what you're going through. I know the ridicule that you're afraid of. Hi, I'm good. What's your name, Perk Tutor? You want me to call you Perk Tutor? I can call you Perk Tutor. I'm really good. Thank you so much for asking. I appreciate that. I'm doing really well. I know what goes on in social impactors' mind when Steven preferred. Okay, Steven, welcome. I appreciate you being here. Thank you so much for stopping by. I know what that's like. At least I'm familiar with some of the feelings and the emotions and what kind of goes through. So when you are in that dark place, when you are in that place, in that space, in that emotional state where you're just like, maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I shouldn't do this. Maybe I should just stop. First, let me first say that if it's something that has been in your heart for a long time, baby, you owe it to yourself to take some steps forward. You owe it to yourself to make a few millimeter shifts. Thank you for pumping those hearts. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Tina Marie, welcome back. You owe it to yourself and to that thing that's inside of you to do something about it in some way. Yesterday we talked about millimeter shifts, millimeter steps. How about that? Take millimeter steps even through that darkness, through that heart-clenching fear. Just do a little something, something. My question I want to share with you today from my 5 highly effective questions is, what will the impact be? So before I go into that, let me quickly reintroduce myself. My name is Hove. Jokes. My name is Coach Nachi, and I am your world-class personal development coach, speaker, and life enthusiast, called to serve those who want to live more like their unique selves right now. This minute, right now. I'm not talking about in 1,000 years. I'm not talking about building that legacy that's only going to be confirmed in 2,000 years. I'm galaxy class coach. Look at Sam Z. Yes, baby. I love that. Soon, right? I'm talking about right now. A legacy does not start unless you make moves right now. Period. That's it. I believe we're intended to live fully human, joyfully, and feeling at home in ourselves and our lives. Did I already say that? On my website, I have 5 highly effective questions to extreme motivation, continuous focus, and finding your why. Because I believe when you find your why, you find your way. Your why is going to be your driving force. Your why is going to answer the question of how am I going to do something. Your why is going to be the thing that keeps you going. What will the impact be is one of the questions that I always come back to. I always fall back on. When I'm like, I don't want to do a scope. I don't want to go on scope. I ask, what will the impact be if I did? I'll feel good. I always feel good after I do a scope. I know that I've interacted with the people who I only get to see on scope. What will the impact be of me moving forward? No. So let me do the other part, right? Finding your I talked about pain, pleasure, rewards, punishments, and I will get hearts from Samzy. I love those hearts. You know I'm getting addicted to those hearts. Thanks, Samzy. And Ovita, thanks for those hearts. They're really nice. They go well together somehow. It's like Christmas colors. As well, you should feel good after scope, coach. I do feel good after a scope theory. I feel really good. So in your source is your pain, your pleasure, your punishments, and your rewards, all in that one thing. When I asked I was seated with myself and going through the motions as you do the social impact there. You will think, I can't do this. I actually can't do this. I can't. This is too big. Someone more capable. Gary is right. Always enjoy yourself and feel pleased with what you share. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you so much, boo. I can't do this. I cannot do this. This is too big. This is too much. I can't. And then I asked myself the question, what will the impact be if I don't? And just saying that, my body just now, the feeling, no. Like my eyes are watering. I know my why. It is to make others smile and brighten their day when it makes me happy. And yo, you're making it happen. You brighten my day, Alita. I love jumping into your scopes and seeing you doing what you do. I love it. Yo, when I tell you that my eyes are watering, when I tell you that my body rejects the impact of me not doing it, it's real. When you find your why, that's the type of stuff that happens. Like, you feel it. When I ask myself, what will the impact be if I don't? What will the impact be if I just don't do anything? If I just know what I know and I don't do anything? The answer was people will continue to suffer. People will continue to feel alone. People will continue to feel like no one's out there. People will continue to feel that nobody cares. People will continue to feel that their life isn't worth anything, and they will continue to want to self-terminate. And that's not okay with me. That's not okay with me. That's not okay with me. And obviously it's not okay with me because my body was like, oh, hell no. It rejected that thought, and it's rejecting it now. I want to move forward. This doesn't feel good. When I ask myself, what will the impact be if I do? What will the impact be if I kept on going through the tenseness? What will the impact be if I kept going through the self-doubt, through the self-worth? Is this really something I can do, me? Is this really something that is worth to be done? When I ask myself what the impact would be of moving forward, my heart expanded and felt so warm. Because people would no longer be suffering, at least not as many people would. People would no longer feel alone. People would feel loved. People would feel cared for. People would know that there's someone out there, or there's people out there who believe that their life is worth it, and they don't even know them. There's people who would have a safe place to go to when something is not going right in their lives. People would have a safe place to go to share what's in their heart, what's in their mind, and what's going on in their lives when they can't share with the people in their lives. And that's important to me. So, with that, in one question, we just unraveled. They're umbrella questions. The 5 highly effective questions are umbrella questions, and they are highly effective. I'm sure you can feel it from just the one question. What will the impact be in those 2 ways that it went? Of me not doing it, of me doing it. And it goes into so much more detail. And I go into so much more detail when I go into each question. So, what I like to say is when people sign up on livelikeyournow.com, it's going to be the pop-up. It's going to be in the top right corner, Extreme Motivation and Focus. I ask for your internet home, your email address. You get the questions lickety-split in about a couple hours, actually. And then you see the questions, see how simple they are, and if you want them, if you're like, oh, okay, curiosity done, you can unsubscribe, no harm, no foul. I'm okay with that. We all need to do something to help them. Sometimes it takes just someone to talk to. It really does. It really does, Awida. That's spot on. It really does just need someone. It just takes someone to talk to. If you choose to stay, each email after that is around each question, because each question needs its own shine. It deserves its own moments. So this is hey Debbie, how are you? So this is me being transparent. I don't think I told you what I'm working on a crisis hotline. And it's scary. Hey Debbie, I appreciate you being here. How you doing? It's scary. But when you are in that space where it's scary, when you're in that space where you're feeling self-doubt, when you're in that space where you don't feel worthy, in that space where you feel scared, or, oh my God, what are people going to say, or whatever, when you're in that space, you know what space I'm talking about. Ask yourself what the impact would be if you stopped. Ask yourself what the impact would be if you kept going. Ask yourself what the impact would be if you kept going through what you're feeling. Coach's questions are legit. I've worked with her very close on a lot of things. She's done with them. Thank you, Sam Z. You are legit. Y'all, if you're looking for an amazing web designer or someone who gets your social media, Sam Z is that girl. She has been handling my Facebook while I've been deactivated off it, and I've gotten like a lot of engagement. And I'm just like, whoa, Sam Z then. I appreciate those hearts, those peach hearts, those purple hearts. Thanks for coming through. I think I was saying something. Yeah, ask yourself what the impact will be. It's an umbrella question, and in the emails I do go through each, the more layers of that question. A lot of times we think of impact in as far as the positive things that could happen, but there are some things that could happen as a result of you actually reaching your goal, and that's where the fear of success, I believe, comes in. I know I've worked with clients who have these big dreams, and they are totally attainable, but they're afraid of what their family will say. They're afraid of what the people in their life will say. They're afraid of the looks they'll be getting, like, oh, so you think you're hot for trying to do this thing? Like, oh, so you think you're better? Like, these things that don't make any sense. And I'm not talking about the criticism or the constructive criticism that comes from people that love you. For me, for instance, when I shared my crisis hotline with someone who cares about me dearly, 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 and deeply, from a place of love and from a place of concern, they poked a lot of holes in it. Just follow your heart. That's really good advice. And when your heart says no to the impact of you not doing it, listen to that. The person who I love dearly, who loves me very, very dearly, they poked holes in it. And I know that wasn't coming from a place of follow your thousands of hearts. Yes! Thank you for sticking around, guys. I really appreciate you being here. Thank you for pumping those hearts as well. Sometimes the constructive criticism comes from people that you care about, and that's not a bad thing. The thing is that constructive criticism, the criticism part, latches onto the parts of ourselves that are already feeling so raw about what we're about to embark on. And so we take that super to heart. I know I took it to heart. I know after that phone call with that person, who cares about me deeply. And I know he was coming from a good place and a good place and a good place. But I was just kind of like, well, shoot, maybe it's not worth it. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe it's not worth it. Maybe I shouldn't do this. And then I thought about the impact, and I was like, I can't not. I have to at least take millimeter steps. I have to at least take millimeter shifts. I have to honor that call that I have with that other person who wants to help me make this happen, that person who believes in me, that person pumping hearts. So I really want to share that with you. You have something in your heart. It gets tough. The road does get tough. You'll be kicked. You'll be smacked down in the face. Like you things will happen. Life happens. Things happen. You're a human being. Allow yourself to feel fully human. I know that me feeling the feelings of, oh, I can't do this, is going to be amazing when I do it. It's going to be amazing. Me coming on here and sharing the story with you is to say you're not alone in self-doubt or self-whatever, all these things. But to move forward from that, because that's not entirely constructive, is ask yourself what the impact will be if you don't, and ask yourself what the impact would be if you do. What typically happens is, hey Lynn, how are you? Is you will find that, for me, the impact is important. It helps me move forward. The second tip, I totally forgot to even say this in the beginning. The second tip, if you're still here, is think outside yourself. Hey, Lynn from Kentucky? Wow, I love that. Do you have beer cheese over there? I heard beer cheese is like big in Kentucky. Welcome back, Gary. I appreciate you coming back. The second tip that I want to share with you, which I should have shared earlier, is sometimes when you're so in yourself, when you're in that place of self-doubt, fear, anxiety, stress, and just, I can't do it, self-worth, take yourself out of it. Take yourself out of it. So for me, if you looked at the impact, it wasn't so much I'm going to feel calm. It's people are going to suffer if I don't. People are going to not suffer as much. Beer and bourbon are big. Are they? Okay. Take yourself out of yourself. By that, I mean focus on others, right? Think about what the effect will be on others. Think about what you're doing on others. I got my Skype working again. Awesome! Yay! Yay, Alita, I love that. Yay, welcome back to the world. Take yourself out of yourself, right? That's another huge tip. If you forget the questions, if you don't sign up to the questions, number one, you have the question, what will the impact be? Number two, just take yourself out of yourself. What will the impact be does take you out of yourself, but if you forget it, take yourself out of yourself. Get out of your head, get out of your heart, get out of, well, you know what I'm trying to say. Get out of those negative emotions, those emotions that aren't really being too constructive at that moment, that are telling you to stop your fears. That's just your comfort zone. Don't judge them. Yeah, don't judge them. Just, see them, acknowledge them, but then take yourself out of yourself and say, okay, for other people, how will this help? Which is essentially what will the impact be on others. So that's it. That is the scope for today. I wanted to speak to you all because that's something that happens a lot. I know it happens a lot with my clients. Especially when it comes to purpose work and just social impact work and world changing. A lot of what we're going for, whether it's in your community or your nation or your continent or your hemisphere or the world, it seems really big, and it is really big. But sometimes we feel too small to actually do anything about it, but it starts with a step. And sometimes you really do have to move along with that anxiety and move forward. So here I am again, your world-class coach, speaker, and life enthusiast, Coach Nachi, called to serve those who want to live more like their unique selves now, right now, not in 1,000 years when they have their legacy. In order to have your legacy, you need to take steps now. So live like you now. .com. I didn't even know there was a .com there. LiveLikeYou'reNow.com is where you can find out more about me and what I do, and as well also the 5 highly effective questions to finding your unique why. I love those questions. I rep those questions and I use them all the time. They're highly effective for a reason. Thank you so much for being here. I'm gonna exit. Oh God. Oh come on. Thank you for pumping those hearts. I appreciate them. I am going to exit now. Thank you. Have a wonderful day. See you tomorrow, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Central Standard Time. Bye.